How's it going, YouTube? Today I'm going to be doing some predictions for the conference games and I guess for the Super Bowl. If you did watch my last video, it was pretty far off. I got 3 out of the 4 wildcard games wrong, and then, going into that, I kind of got 1 of the 4 divisional games right. So, kind of a bad week. However, as you can see, Patriots fan, so I'm pretty pumped that the one divisional game I got right was the Patriots. So I guess we can do a little recap of the weekend before we go into the conference picks. Obviously, the two biggest divisional games were the Broncos versus the Ravens. Absolutely crazy game. The Broncos, I guess there's a safety more, absolutely wrecked it on the play. He played some terrible defense. He just took the wrong angle there, which in turn lost them the game. With like 30 seconds left, they chucked it 70 yards to Torrey Smith. So that was a big play. And then obviously in the Seahawks-Falcons game, I do live in Washington now. I moved here from New England. That's why I'm a Pats fan. But I do live in Washington now, so I'm surrounded by Seahawks fans. So I kind of wanted them to do well. And I saw them coming down at the end, and I thought they were going to make it. And then when when Marshawn Lynch, I guess, fumbled the ball on the half-yard line, I was really hoping it was actually a fumble because there was like around 30 seconds left. It takes some more time on the clock, and I really thought they'd be able to punch it in. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and they played too much prevent defense, which allowed the Falcons to just move the ball down there pretty quick and then kick a field goal. 8 seconds left. I'm not sure why they called the timeout so soon. I think they called a timeout with like 13 seconds left or something like that. I don't know why they didn't wait down. I guess in case they messed up, but if they messed up, it would have been bad either way. So then they kicked the squib kick that they didn't do well. And then I don't think Russell Wilson really made a good play when he chucked it kind of short to, I'm not sure who the receiver was. I didn't really pay attention too much, but he chucked it kind of short to the receiver, and then that led room for a 65-yard field goal or just a Hail Mary. Hail Marys almost never work. I went to the Packers-Seahawks game on Monday Night Football when the infamous Hail Mary catch/interception happened. So I do know that it has worked for them, but the reality is it almost never works. So if they got maybe 6 or 7 more yards. I know that they didn't have much time, but if they got 6 or 7 more yards, that would have led room for a 58-yard field goal, which is a lot better chance than a Hail Mary. And then the other two games for the divisional were the Patriots versus the Texans. Wasn't too much of a challenge. Gronkowski, big thing, broke his arm, one of the first plays of the game. Re-broke it, I guess. So he's going to be out for the rest of the postseason. And then the other game was the 49ers versus the Packers. I had my money on the Packers. I thought the Packers were going to actually go to the Super Bowl. But Colin Kaepernick, 181 yards of rushing with 2 touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns. That's pretty insane. I didn't think he was going to be that good, especially in the postseason. So that leads to our conference games, which are the Baltimore Ravens at the New England Patriots. We'll start with that game. It is an AFC rematch from the year before, when the Ravens dropped that pass in the end zone. I think it was batted down by Moore. He had it in his hands, and then Moore just kind of batted it out of his hands. That was to win it, and then they had a short field goal to tie it, and he botched the kick. So I was pretty happy then last year. So I think that's going to be a good game. I know Ray Lewis is very emotional. The whole team's kind of emotional with Ray Lewis, this being possibly his last game, maybe the Super Bowl, and Torrey Smith with his brother being killed early on in the season. They have a lot to play for. And then with that, Gronkowski's out now with his broken arm. But I still think that the Patriots are going to win this game, aside from the fact that they lost earlier in the season to Baltimore. That was a really close game too, so I think this one will be close, but I think that the Patriots actually come out with a win. I really do. I don't know if it's me just wanting it, but the Patriots just have so many weapons. Like last game when Gronkowski was hurt, I'm sure that they had a whole game summary, a game, what they're going to do during that game, and involving Gronkowski a lot. So when he was hurt, they just tried to do a quick, moving around. And they put Shane Vereen in, who had 3 touchdowns with some great receptions too. So I think that they're gonna be just fine, even though Gronkowski's not in. I don't think it's as big as a deal as some of the fans may think. A lot of the analysts don't think it's a big deal either, just because we have so many weapons and it's just so hard to cover everybody. And I know that they have Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, but if you put them on somebody, Tom Brady's gonna pass somebody else. So that's gonna be a good game. My prediction is that the Patriots win it 28-24. So a 4-point game. I don't know if it really comes down to a wire. I think that the Patriots lead early, and then Ravens do some catch up. So that's going to be the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And then, which leads us to our other game, which is the 49ers at the Falcons. That, I don't know how good of a game that will be. Falcons didn't really prove it to me too much last game against the Seahawks. The Seahawks are not a good road team. I think they're like 3-5 on the road during the season. I know that they carried some momentum coming in, yada, 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 but I don't see that they're like that great of a team. They didn't really prove me. They barely beat the Seahawks at home. And the 49ers didn't really have a close game against the Packers. Well, it was close up until they started taking lead, and they just kind of took it out of hand. So I think that the 49ers are going to win that game. I think Colin Kaepernick's going to have a big game. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a big game. Matt Ryan's going to have a big game. Aside from him losing, I think he's going to make some mistakes that are going to cost him big. Maybe even a pick 6. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. So that's going to be a close game. So that prediction, I think that the 49ers are going to win it. What are they? They're going to do 35 while the Falcons just score 21. They drive it down the field a couple times. They'll get a touchdown a couple times, but they're just not good enough of a team. So that means that the New England Patriots are going to be going to New Orleans with the San Francisco 49ers. It's going to be a good game. I'm going to not predict the Super Bowl now. I'm going to wait till see what happens in the conference games, just because I was completely wrong in the divisional games, so my predictions were completely wrong. So I'll just save it till after, and then we can make some different predictions. But if you have anything to say, if you completely disagree or agree, feel free to leave something in the comments there. I get probably two or 3 comments a video, so I'll be sure to read it. And if you're watching this, you're one of like the 72 views that I'll get. But, just doing it for fun. So anyway, take care, guys.